she's not the type of actor that can act without producing. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? Because, if you wanted to be the director so bad, be the director. If you want to make a movie so bad, make a movie. Don't hijack something and then make it look hideous. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'll move on. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here to talk about It Ends With Us, the movie. Okay. My true honest thoughts, I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't like phenomenal or whatever, but like I wasn't expecting that, with the exception of a few changes that were kind of like, I just wanted to get my overall opinion like out of the way. Just watching the movie by itself and not hearing any of the noise around the promo and the behind the scenes drama. I feel like the movie was good. I feel like the movie was fine. I feel like it was good. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't honest though. I feel like I enjoyed it a lot of the movie because of Justin Baldoni's performance, with the fact that Justin was directing it and he was also acting as Ryle, and I really liked the flashbacks. The actress who played young Lily was really good. I cannot make this video in good faith without talking about the mess of the promotion for this freaking movie, and I feel like this is the thing I'm like most disappointed about. Honestly, I couldn't care less about the movie. The movie was good, fine, sure, whatever, but the promotion for the movie, that's where I'm really shaking my head disappointed. If you didn't know, which how would you not know, basically like most of the cast has unfollowed Justin, the director, and people are speculating that it's because of Blake Lively and maybe possibly Ryan Reynolds, her husband. It's actually disgusting how most of the cast is promoting the movie as a rom-com to bring your girlfriends, bring your friends and your flowers and your florals to.
Hello, Blake Lively here. Colleen Hoover, and It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
I just feel like that is so irresponsible. Aside from the fact that that's just not the proper tone you should go in to talk about this movie with, she's like being sarcastic. She's not even answering the questions fully. She's really talking in circles like a politician.
What has been the best part in making this particular movie?
I've noticed so many beautiful crystals on teeth. Is that a big fashion thing? I'm
like, what's going on? I'm like, if I didn't know any better, I would think she's promoting a movie like The Kissing Booth. You know what I'm saying? It just seems so unserious. It's just really jarring to see the contrast between her interviews and Justin's interviews.
The question that's always asked is, why did she stay? And that's the wrong question. What we need to be asking ourselves is, why do men harm?
Yes.
And that was the big thing for me. And what I've learned more and more of is like, these women who experience this every single day, there's real love there. There's charm, there's charisma, there's passion, there's this belief that they can be better. And it's not so simple. So our friends that know more, I'm wearing their pin right now, they were the ones who really worked with me to help me make this film as truthful as possible and hopefully do justice to
I just like to
experience this.
From the beginning, I feel like this was Justin Baldoni's passion project. He bought the rights to the book. It's his production company that made the movie. He's like known for working with different organizations that deal with like domestic abuse and domestic violence and stuff like that. He has a podcast where he's just like, he's so locked in and he's so in tune. Actual opposite of tone deaf, which is exactly what Blake Lively is. The promotion for the movie really rubbed me the wrong way. The movie didn't even have any trigger warnings. There was no helpline like phone number shown, and I'm like, even on TV shows that deal with dark themes, they would put a little disclaimer, something like that. And now there's people coming out the woodwork talking about, oh yeah, I watched the movie, think that it was a fun romance movie, and they got like triggered because they're seeing what's happening on screen. The worst feeling is signing yourself up for something that you think is going to be a fun ride, and then it's like, what the hell am I actually watching right now? And then there's also a lot of whispers about how there's like the director's cut and then the cut that actually like made it to theaters, and I'm just like, oh, what I would wish to see Justin Baldoni's version of the movie. You don't know the money I would pay. This is maybe my own conspiracy theory, but I strongly feel that because Blake Lively is a producer and producers are brought on to put money into the movie, basically like bring money to the film to be made, I feel like because she was a producer, she kind of took that as her foot in the door to kind of spearhead things and take control, for lack of a better word, in certain aspects of the production. And I guess the promo too, because I mean, we're seeing how it's playing out so far. I don't even think it's a conspiracy. The reason I say this is because she literally said verbatim in like an interview, which I'll play here.
Well, I'm not the type of actor who can act without producing, like you can't just put me in any clothes and give me any words and have me step in and transform. And
I literally don't know how to start this video, but let's just say that as a person who's been studying acting since I was 15 and I'm now 22, this is the most disrespectful answer to the craft, of acting. Because what she's describing in this video is literally the opposite of what acting is. It is finding the right motivation and something to empathize with the character, as well as embodying it, and then putting the pieces of the script together to bring the character to reality, as well as following direction. If you cannot do that, if you can only act like yourself, dress like yourself, and say what you want, and you are not doing it, babe. That's not what acting is. And this is so disrespectful. So disrespectful.
She's not the type of actor that can act without producing. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? Because, And honestly, this conversation doesn't even matter because what's done is done. The movie's out, so let's actually talk about the movie. Let's talk about some of the problems I have with it, starting with Lily. Lily's character in the movie was actually kind of weird to watch. Throughout a majority of the movie, literally until like the last 20 to 30 minutes, I wasn't too sure about how I was feeling about Lily's character because I was thinking back to the book, right? In the book, Lily is 23. I just feel like that is kind of an important aspect of it. Not to say that aging her up takes away from the experiences that anyone can go through because they changed her age. Now in the movie, her actions didn't really quite like align and her behavior didn't really quite align with who the actual character was. For example, in the movie, Lily was super giggly and honestly borderline ditzy, which I found really weird because in the book she wasn't really like that. I remembered like Blake Lively, she would be laughing, giggling and laughing every 5 minutes as if she was drunk, and I'm like, in the book she only really acted like that when she was drunk. But so I feel like Blake Lively's interpretation of her just wasn't good or accurate or at least fulfilling to watch. And speaking about it being unfulfilling to watch, I'm sorry, but Lily's wardrobe the entire movie was so distracting. It was like every time a new scene would come on, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, what is she gonna be wearing this time? I don't know whose idea it was or where they got this eccentric, frumpy aesthetic from. It didn't match the character at all. Like, at all. Halfway through the movie, because like, it was generally so distracting. I'm like, why is she... Like, there's characters who have their specific style and like aesthetic, and then there's Lily Bloom who walks in with like a tank top, a crop corset, corduroy pants, and a welder's vest on. Like, I'm just like, what? I'm like, did she get dressed in the dark? I finally clocked it halfway through the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, she dresses like a teenage blue-collar worker who loves to DIY. It was just jarring to see, and I'm pretty sure she only had one good outfit. They had the little scene at the rooftop, and he's like in his tux, and she comes out, and she's in this gorgeous orange sequin dress, but what is she wearing? That gigantic construction worker jacket. Girl, what? Like, you work at a flower shop. You don't work in the oil rigs. You don't work on the power lines. What is going on with these decisions? That, I just had to rant about that because genuinely, like, it was distracting. I feel like a lot of it had to do with Miss Lively because she said that, you know, in some cases, they just pulled from her own personal wardrobe for Lily. And I'm just like, she's pulling from her own closet. Her husband is rewriting scenes to a movie that he's not working on. They're controlling the narrative of the promos. I'm just like, if you wanted to be the director so bad, be the director. If you want to make a movie so bad, make a movie. Like, don't hijack something and then make it look hideous. That's all I'm saying. I'll move on. I'm just gonna like talk about some of the changes that I saw and noticed and have thoughts about. First change that they made is after the incident with the pot, and Ryle goes in and grabs the like steaming hot pan fresh out the oven, drops it, breaks it, slaps Lily. When the scene happened, I feel like it was genuinely written to be an accident, and I feel like people would believe it was an accident, especially like not knowing what the movie's about. I was watching that, I'm like, that's a little bit different. Like, I feel like I remember him being a little angry, and so I went back in the book. I have the book here and I have my notes. It was clearly stated that he hit her because she was laughing, and that ticked him off, and so he slapped her, and he was like, it's not effing funny. This is my hand that I do surgery on. I know they already showed an indication of him being an angry person in the first like 5 minutes of the movie when he kicked the chair, but I'm like, I feel like in that moment they should have kept his little short angry outburst of him being like, it's not funny, Lily. And then instantly after that in the book, Lily instantly was saying to him out loud, oh my gosh, you hit me. Like, you literally hit me. This is literally the first instance where he put his hands on her. And because in the movie, I feel like they watered it down a bit, they didn't get the chance to have Lily literally vocalize after he kind of like realizes what he did and starts caring for her and being like super affectionate. She literally is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he hit me, but he's not my dad. He's not abusive like my dad. Like, my dad would never comfort my mom like this. You know what I'm saying? I hate that they took that out because I feel like that kind of like sets the tone for how Lily's gonna be thinking throughout the whole book and I guess movie, every time he would be aggressive towards her and put his hands on her, she would be shocked, and then he would comfort her, and then she'd be like, oh, it's all good. He's not like my dad because he's comforting me. And I feel like that way of thinking is unfortunately very common with people who have gone through this. And so them possibly making it seem like an accident in the movie, at least in the moment when it first happens, upset me a little bit. Now, the altercation between Ryle and Atlas at the restaurant scene. First, let me just say, the guy who played Atlas, phenomenal. Exactly how I imagined in terms of like demeanor and just like energy. Phenomenal. I just had to say that. But when they fought at the restaurant, they had a little tit for tat, and he was like, "Get the F out of my restaurant!" Blah, 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 blah. In the movie, Lily was being like, "Oh my gosh, guys, stop fighting, Ryle, go, look at me, go." It's given very much, "Look at me, baby. This isn't you, just look at me." And in the book, it was a lot more intense. There was a lot less talking after the fight. In the book, Ryle literally ignored Lily. He was like, "Give me the keys. I want to go home." She tried to talk to him in the car. He didn't speak. He was fuming, but it was like a silent rage. And I feel like that was more scary than Ryle leaving the restaurant in the movie and him being like, "No, Lily, anyone but him. And it just like, it kind of made him seem a little pathetic. Not that I'm like complaining that Ryle portrayed as pathetic, it just made him seem less like his actual character. That level of desperation of him in the movie needing the reassurance from Lily, I feel like it came too early, because that level of desperation in the book comes a bit later, and it is literally manipulation, overtness, like, I love you. And in the movie, I just feel like it happened too early for him to be acting like that. Because when a man like that goes silent, it's terrifying. Another change they made is the stairs incident. He was treating her wound and being like doctorly, right? That part was accurate. Then it's just like out of sight, out of mind. That whole incident, he just completely forgot about it. It just came off as him being super desperate and overly affectionate and overly loving, which is, again, a manipulation tactic. But I don't know, I just feel like it translated better in the book, because in the book, Ryle's actually like a little bit more unhinged. Sorry, wrong word. A little bit more abusive and manipulative and emotionally unstable. In the book, after he treated her wound that he caused when he pushed her down the stairs, then he like iced her out. She was like, "Oh, what happened?" She's like, "Oh, I just found out like my wife's a effing liar." It was a scary switch up reading it in the book, because he went from like caring and being doctorly to back to like being on 10 in an instant. And I was like, whoa. So in the movie, he pushed her down the stairs, treated her wounds. He kind of brushed past his rage as if he didn't almost kill her almost an hour ago. In the book, Lily at the same time was like, she's like, "No, you freaking pushed me." And then she kicked him out. She kicked him out of the apartment. I just wonder like why they cut that out. Maybe for time, I don't know. I feel like Lily kicking him out and then eventually them getting back together again is such like a more accurate portrayal. Because in the book, I just felt like in the book, Lily was a lot more aware of the situation that she was in. She knew what he was capable of, right? She knew that Ryle was the person that had the capacity to hurt her, but she was also kind of deluding herself to the fact that, well, he's not like my dad because he's comforting me right now. He's not like that because he's being affectionate to me. I know this thing just happened, but look how remorseful he is. Look how much he's trying to care for me and be better. Look how much he's trying to make up for it. And I feel like that's, you know, sometimes that's how cycles work. And I feel like in the movie, a lot of it felt like Lily was being like blindsided by it, which if we're talking book to movie comparisons, I don't know. And then on top of that, Blake Lively's acting through that was, again, up in the air for me. The last change that I think this one upset me the most. So in the book, Ryle had an older brother that he accidentally shot when he was a child. Complete accident, but like it changed him forever. In the movie, we find that out too, but instead of Ryle telling it to Lily, his sister tells it to her. That part really like threw me for a loop. Because the whole movie, I'm like waiting, like when is she gonna find out that this is his trauma? And then all of a sudden I'm seeing her and Alyssa talk, and Lily asks Alyssa, "Oh, and that's another thing." Like she's like, "What happened to him?" Watching the movie, there was nothing that would have compelled Lily to think that something drastic happened between Ryle and their brother. Near the end of the movie, she goes to Alyssa and is like, "Can you tell me what happened?" And I was like, what would have compelled her to think that? You know what I'm saying? Because in the book, he tells her that information, sure, maybe just to be honest, but it really reads as the highest level of manipulation. And then he was like, "This is why I need you, Lily. Like, this is why I need you. I need you to help me." And I'm like, abuser 101. Him telling her that while she's already extremely in a vulnerable state and he's in an unstable state, and he's telling her, this is the traumatic thing that happened to me when I was 6 years old. This is why I think I'm the way I am, but it wasn't until you came into my life where I'm just like, everything just feels so better now, but like, I need you, Lily. I need you to help me. I want to be better. I need you. Like, he's literally saying those words verbatim in the book. That was the last like serious conversation. That was like intense conversation that they had before he like literally sent her to the ER or whatever. Them like restructuring that whole conversation in the movie doesn't make any sense to me. Overall, if you take the movie by itself and by itself alone and just look at it for what it is and not for what it's based off of, the source material, I feel like it is a good movie. It is a fine movie. It does the job well of portraying that type of relationship. Obviously, a book to movie adaptation is gonna be one-to-one. I remember I saw an interview of Justin Baldoni saying that he kind of wanted to make sure Ryle wasn't portrayed as a pure villain. And I feel like that's important in stories like this, because a lot of times that's why people have like the misconception thinking that an abusive relationship like this is black and white. Oh, if he hit you, just leave, girl. You just leave out the door. And it's like, no, because a lot of the times it does start off as a romance. Like, I hate to say it, but that's why I never understood a lot of the people that would be like, oh my gosh, like this book glorifying abusive relationships. I'm like, no, I feel like this is actually like a lot of people's experiences, you know? People like this, like they never really show their hand in the beginning. They do all the right things, they say all the right things, they woo you, they do all that to kind of like get you in their grasp. And then once you're sort of dependent on them, that's when they start feeling that they can kind of abuse their power over someone. But at the same time, she always told herself that she wasn't really gonna end up like her mom. And so yeah, eventually she did leave. Eventually she got out and had the strength and courage to do what was best for herself and then, you know, her future daughter. I will link some stuff below. I will link the organizations that Justin Baldoni works with in the description if you guys want to check it out or support. And yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on the matter. If you have thoughts, go ahead and comment down below. If you liked this video, go ahead and like it. If you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe. But yeah, that's it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!